On this video, we're going to show you how to safely assemble this bicycle and get you ready to go on a fun ride. My name is Professor Al. This is Brian. He's our tech support and mechanic. We're going to cut this box open so you don't have to lift it up. Display the box open, and this is why it's nice to have a friend. So try to get a friend to help you with this. Get rid of all your packing, and you're just going to get a pair of side cutters and start cutting zip ties. This is your parts box. One more zip tie. Okay, there we go. I'm going to lay that down right there and start pulling off all this foam. You can just pull it off your hands because it's masking tape so you don't scratch your frame with a knife. Step one is we're going to install these handlebars.
There's your minimum insertion line. Very important. Slide your handlebars into your fork up to that line and hide that line. Just get slid right in here, right to the minimum insertion line. All right, within this little box here, you're going to have your pedals, you're going to have the charger and cord, you're going to have your tool bag, a little touch-up paint, and you're going to have your foot pegs and some miscellaneous screws that you may need or may not need. The toolkit will have everything you need to assemble your ZUGO bike. Your next step is to tighten your handlebars.
Now when you're tightening the handlebars, you don't need to gorilla over tighten it, but it needs to be snug.
And you need to go from one to the other, then back. Make sure it's snug. Do the same on the other side. The other one, then get back up to the top. Now your handlebars are totally in and tight.
Okay, next thing we're going to do is we're going to install the fender with the wheel off.
It has already a bolt right in here that you'll take out. Nut on the back of it, bolt and washer. Fender, slide it right in there with a smaller part going forward, bigger part facing back. Use your Allen wrench in front, and you should be able to just hold that nut with your finger in the back. Before you tighten it up, you just want to make sure the front is a little higher than the back. And then just give it a little snug tight.
Okay, next we're going to put the wheel on.
Take your wheel, your quick release is right here. We're going to cut that off. That is your quick release. You're going to take this side off. Slide out that spring. The springs are set in with the cone facing the wheel. On the non-disc side, you're going to slide this in. On the other side, with the cone facing the wheel, and put that on only about a turn. Pull that off, that's just for shipping. The disc side. We're just going to slide that in, and we're going to lay it right down. Now with the weight of the bike on the wheel, you can hold the quick release on one side, and I just spin the other side till it's snug.
If you can open this with one finger, that's not good, okay? I cannot do that no matter how hard I pull, but you shouldn't have to grunt and scream to close this lever.
So now on the kickstand, the bike will sit by itself. Now the disc brake will be hanging there. It's going to have two bolts that are just loose. Take those two bolts out. Now you're just going to slide the caliper right over the disc and then line these two bolts and then tighten it down. We're going to lift it back up.
I got that. All right.
I'm going to spin it back around.
It looks like to me that it's rubbing on the inside. So what you got to do here is loosen the bolts up just a tiny bit.
These two bolts right here, not the two you just put in, the two right here. We're going to loosen those up a little bit, just until the brake wiggles a little bit.
Pull this brake lever down, and what that's going to do is help us center the brake onto the rotor, like so. Yep. So I hold it down, Brian's going to tighten it up. We're going to check it after this and see if we're centered up. You can also use a white piece of paper. That gives you a contrast of color.
So you can see if the discs are touching the rotor at all.
Just barely push the caliper over with your thumb or finger and look down at it and see if it's centered. That looks much better.
Yep.
I can see from up here all the way down through there that your caliper is now centered over the rotor.
Then make sure your caliper is tight.
There is a right and a left pedal.
Each pedal has the name of the manufacturer on it. Okay? Well go. When you're sitting on the bike, you want to be able to read it. That way you'll know you have the right one on the right side. If it gives you any resistance at all, stop. Because most likely you have it on the wrong side. So you're going to screw it on. You're going to take your 15mm wrench and tighten it. If it gives you any resistance at all, stop.
There we go. So now we can just go around, tighten this up. I want to put a little oomph on the end to make sure it stays tight. Now your pedals are installed. Boom. Now we're going to put in the foot pegs.
With the foot pegs, you're not going to use the hardware that came in the bag. Right on the bike are these 2 loose screws. Pull it out. You got a nut on the back of it. And take the bolt, put it right through the little hole, put it back in the back hole. Put the nut on. So I got my 8mm. I'm going to hold the nut from the back. I'm going to snug it down, rotate it up. You will need to turn the wrench to this side and get it nice. This one, make pretty tight. Cut that cable tie off. These keys are for your battery. Battery came cable tied in. I'm going to cut that cable tie. The key is right in the side. Turn it that half turn, slide your battery out. Very careful. Here's your battery. And here's where your battery charges. Get the battery back in. You don't even need the key. Put it back in, lock it in. Hold your power button down. Your display lights up. Goes through its little dance. Pull the rear wheel off the ground. Hit the throttle. Hit your brake. Stop it. Your throttle will do nothing while your brakes are on. Put it back up. Now this is how you go through your pedal assist. Right now we're in assist mode 1. Notice you have the 2 buttons up here, plus and your minus. When you do your plus, you see your pedal assist go up. I tell people, start out in mode 1, see how it is, then go have some fun. You have your little safety film on here.
It's gratifying to pull that off though, because look at how shiny it is underneath.
Look at that. Now we're ready to install our headlight. This thing is awesome. What we're going to do is we're just going to take these screws out. Lock washer, a flat washer, and a nut.
So it's going to go on this nice little bracket, and here's your plug. Make sure again that your ZUGO is turned off before you plug this in.
So this is going to mount the tabs down and the plug down. It's just going to slide right into here, screw through there. Same thing on the other side. With this bolt, you just hold the nut on the back. You don't need to put a wrench on it. Get this one snug but not rock tight because you want to adjust the headlight still. You got this red plug. You got a little notch right there. They can only go in one way. It locks together, watertight seal. Take your gratifying plastic off your headlight. It's still a little loose. Just tighten it up. And you'll always be able to like grab it and move it, but it shouldn't loosen up on you on the road because you got a lock nut in there. Now, how to turn the headlight on. With power on the display, all you have to do is tap it. Once you tap it, your light comes on your display, and you get a beautiful, awesome headlight. And then turn it off, again, tap the power. Hold the power button too long, it's going to shut it off. Again, just turn it on back on. In the back is a brake light. How beautiful is that? Nice and safe. If you had ordered the rack should come in a box just like this. You should have your rack and a little bag of bolts. Flat washer on the big one. I put the big one in first. So, take your battery out. Take your rack. Right up here. Your screw. And right through that center hole. See that hole under the seat? Right through there. Nut that came with it. Just put it on. You don't have to put it on tight because we're going to line up the other screws. All right. You're going to put your flat washer on your screw. You're going to line this up. because you got the other side to do. This you can tighten. This you don't have to worry about. Tighten the other side. Then tighten down the center one. Center one, same thing. You just hold the nut on the back. You don't have to put a wrench on it or anything. This will snug. Slide your battery back in. And you're done.
All right, so you've got your new ZUGO bike. We haven't aired up the tires. Your tires will lose air every day. So you want to check the air pressure on your tires occasionally, a couple times a month or something if you're riding it a lot. If you're not riding it very much, then almost every time you ride your bike, you want to air up your tires. If you touch this by accident, your bike's going to take off. If you have your brakes on, nothing will happen, like Brian said in our earlier section. Every ride could be an adventure if you wanted to. Thanks for watching our video, and have fun.